Good morning to everybody. This is Mike Marconi. I'm coming to you from corporate from Orange Coast Title Family of Companies, as you've seen in some of the other videos I've done. And I want to share some things with you again. When I come to these videos, I'm struck by the wonderful things being done by everybody within our family of companies. And it drives me to want to give you these messages. And the things are so good that I've got notes today as opposed to just remembering off the top of my head. So I want to go through some things. And the first thing I want to talk about is just under the heading of resiliency and creativity, which is what our company is showing in such volumes during this time. Examples of that, I was just on the phone with Russ Smith, and he sent me a text, and he was showing me these plexiglass barriers that you may have seen in markets that are springing up, and he's actually creating them and putting them in their signing rooms so that the consumer and the escrow officer can have a safe experience while they're signing their documents. I just thought it was fantastic to see that picture. And I also know that Richard Dinterman in the Inland Empire did basically the same thing. He set scraps in his garage. And what he did was he put together this plexiglass barrier, because when you walk into the door there, the receptionist sits right on the doorway, and she was a little bit uncomfortable. So he built this plexiglass barrier for her, which I thought was just a marvelous idea for the safety of all involved. Next example, Clegg Porter and all the corporate folks are continuing to find supplies that just when we think they aren't available anymore, he's able to find more gloves, and he just came upon some masks, and there's going to be able to get those out to folks. And I just appreciate the efforts, and because those things are in tough supply to come up with. Then there's a little bit of a potential hint of another supply that we might be able to come up with that I'm looking forward to. Creativity continues. Bill Fajardo, our IT manager, his mom has started a little business where she's making cloth masks that she's selling. And that way, you can have these masks and you can wash them and reuse them. And her creativity with how she's putting them together is wonderful to see. I also had a situation, Christy Rye, she had an opportunity, and you'll see this on the Orange Coast Facebook, but she just is full of positive energy, and she called into a radio station and got on, and she talked about things that are going on in her world, and agents that are actually working, and transactions that are actually closing. So she brought, some good news, if you will, to a radio station program, and it was really great to hear, and I'm looking forward to you being able to see that on our webpage when it gets posted later today. And then lastly, under the resiliency category is Lane Gidney, who's the president of Equity in Arizona. He's going to become a grandfather very soon. So he's extremely excited by that, in all of the trauma of the health benefits, life goes on, and, a new child's coming into the world. So that's, just fantastic good news and creativity I wanted to share with you. And then I thought I'd segue a little bit into, business is continuing. And I ended that the last time on my last message to you all, saying it's critical for us to have this business continue and for us to keep driving forward. And at the end, I'll talk about that a little bit more. But here's some things that just struck me over the week. I was on a sales call yesterday with the OCLS and lender division, and those salespeople are thriving. And one in particular, James Tyndall, who's new to our company, he basically finally broke through and is now really hitting his stride. And he's got 74 new orders that he brought in, and he's excited about. And Barbara Corey and Missy Harvey, who run those divisions, we're extremely proud of him in that regard. Brent Bailey and I yesterday and earlier in the week, we were on 3 different Zoom video conference calls where we were talking to partners of our Northern California operations, and we were able to dive into really critical details about capture rate and how we're going to continue to dive deeper into their organization and help all of our companies thrive and survive. Zoom has become a big deal, but just video conferencing in general is going on through our organization. I, in particular, were on sales meetings for the Washington staff, all of the California companies. I was Zooming with other entities in our family of companies, making sure that we're just keeping the salespeople engaged and keeping the salespeople excited like they always are, and having them reach out to their customers. And Jim McCahill, our webmaster extraordinaire, was on most of them, continuing to teach the new products that we have so that we can use them to touch our consumers. I was having a conversation just this morning with Russ Smith in Utah, and he was able to, during all of this turmoil, still have extremely constructive phone calls with recruits with a very, very strong possibility that he'll be able to add them to our organization because they're extremely excited about what we're all about. Jim Hall and I talked yesterday for 30 minutes. And we were really excited about the growth of what is on the horizon. And two potential partners are still wanting to drive forward with the conversation of engaging and partnering with equity in Colorado. And we're really excited about that. And we're going to push that forward. Last but not least, and by no means is this an exhaustive list of everything that's going on, but Jim Hilbin and Rick Tsunami and I we're discussing Zoom sales meetings that we're going to be having on a go forward and continuing to drive that message forward. And going back just to end and wrap with you for this week and talking about something that I said on the Orange Coast Title of Southern California sales Zoom meeting, and then also that I've been repeating to just about everybody that I can talk to. And it's really at this point in time all about mindset. And it's about making sure that we, first of all, keep our own mindset strong. And then that every time that we come in contact with the customer, that we make sure that we help them with their mindset and keep everybody strong. And as the message that you'll hear from Christy, keep everybody positive as we continue to move forward. So I wish you all a happy Friday, a happy Easter. And I'm going to leave you with one thought. And just as a little bit of a fun aside, I'm going to read something to you, and it's actually some lyrics into a song. And bonus points for any of you that can figure out where this song comes from and email me and tell me what it is. Okay, so again, under the theme of mindset, it's here we go. It's not about what you've done. It's about what you're doing. It's all about where you're going, no matter where you've been. So perfect way to end my video to you. I hope you have a great Easter. Keep on fighting for the Orange Coast family of companies.